Bienvenidos a otra clase con el señor Ríos. Hoy vamos a hablar de subject pronouns. Today we're going to speak about subject pronouns. We are on chapter 1b. Subject pronouns are used to take the place of the subject. For instance, Jane is running. In this sentence, Jane will be the subject. And Jane can be replaced with the subject pronoun, which is she. She is running. Who's doing the action? She, Jane. Jane is the subject, and she is the subject pronoun. Subject pronouns in English are I, you, he, she, we, you all, and they. And these are the ones that we're going to be concentrating today. If you're talking about someone, use he or she as the pronoun. So if you don't want to say their name, you would say he is doing this or she is doing that. If you're talking to someone, use you as the pronoun. You can be singular or plural. In Texas, the plural is y'all. If you're talking about a group of people and you're not included in the group, you use they. This one can be very tricky, especially on the test, because sometimes students think, oh, they say los estudiantes, which is the students. So that includes me. Unless specifically including you, you should use they. If you're talking about a group and you're included in that group, then you're going to use we. For some pronouns in Spanish, we will have to look at the gender and the number. You have I, which means yo, you, which means two, and this sometimes you see an F that means or it says spam. It says means that is not formal. Then he is él, then she is ella, and then you formal is usted. This is set in two columns. The column on the left, these are the singular ones. Singular ones means, or the singular one is the ones that is talking about only one person. On the right hand side, you have the plural ones, which is more than one person. So you have nosotros, if it's all guys, nosotras, if it's all girls, and if it has at least one guy, and even if there's 1,000 girls, it will still be nosotros. You all in Spain, this is only used in Spain, it is vosotros, for all guys. For all girls, it is vosotras. Again, if there is at least one guy, it will be vosotros. Then you have they, which means ellos. And then they, which is all girls, is ellas. And then you have you all, which is ustedes. Ustedes is the one that you really need to learn, because this is the one they use in the American continent and the one you're going to be using in class the most. A good way to remember it is yo is singular, so it's kind of like yo, I'm single, but if we get together, it will be nosotros, which is we. If I'm talking to you, it's only one person, but if I'm talking to y'all, it will be vosotros if you're in Spain, or ustedes if you're in America, as any of the American Spanish-speaking countries. Then you have él, which is a male. So if you have more than one male, it will be ellos. You have ella, which is a female. And if you have a bunch of girls, it will be ellas. Then you have usted, which is you formal. And if you have a bunch of people that is all formal, it will be ustedes. Or if you're in a Spanish-speaking country in this continent, right? The reason I have it in different colors is because the first line, like right here, will be first person singular. I have a lot of Spanish teachers refer to it. Second person singular, and the purple ones on this side will be third person singular. This is important for the coming chapter when you have to learn how to conjugate verbs. And on the other side, you have first person plural, second person plural, and then third person plural. So that's why I have them grouped that way. So now you're going to have to think on what subject pronoun you will be using. For the first one, if you're talking to a stranger, when you're conjugating verbs, what subject pronoun would you be using? You might want to pause the video to have time to think. Talking to a stranger, it will be usted, because you want to show respect to that person because you don't know them. You're not familiar with them. Talking about John and Francis, you know, two people and they're both males, so the answer is ellos. Talking about your brother, first you know it's male because it's brother, and you know you're familiar with that person, so it should be él. And some people say sometimes, well, why is not two? And the key is right here, about. If you would say talking to your brother, then it would be two. And that's a very common mistake people make on the exam. Talking to a group of friends. Talking to a group of friends. It doesn't say in what country. So, vosotros, if you're in Spain. Ustedes, if you're in America, in any country of the American continent. Talking about Julie and Peggy. Well, what do you know about Julie and Peggy? They're both ladies. And you know you're talking about them. You're not talking to them. So it will be ellas. Talking to your best friend. You know your best friend, so you don't have to be formal because you're buddies. So the answer is two. Talking about your sister. You're talking about your sister. You know it's female and it's singular. So it will be ella. Talking to an elderly couple. Talking to. Keyword to. You're talking to them. So it will be ustedes. Some people sometimes ask, can it be vosotros? And the answer is no. Why can it not be vosotros? Because vosotros is informal. Ustedes is the only one answer that is formal and is plural and is used to refer to you. Talking to your teacher. You're talking to, you're not talking about him or about her, you're talking to them. So it's usted. Talking about yourself. This one, you know, it's only one person. And the answer is yo. I. Talking about yourself. I. Talking to your sister. You're talking to her. So if you're talking to her, it will be to. Now, if you will say talking about your sister, then it will be ella. You're talking about her. She did this to me. If you're talking to her, you're saying you. You need to do this. And then the last one is talking about yourself and your sister. And this one can be tricky. If you're a boy, you're going to say nosotros. Because as long as there is one male, you're going to have to say the male version of the subject pronoun. But if you're a female, then you're going to say nosotras. And this is it. And if you have any more questions, let me know.